for me as a reader, obviously these all sound terrible to me. I don't care about any of the Ravencroft stuff. I don't care about Absolute Carnage. I don't care about literally anything that has anything to do with these books. As a retailer, boy, I care even less.
Come on and visit for any occasion. Don't keep patting down waiting. Comics and conversation. Keep the conversation moving along. Keep reading comics, keep your local store strong. If it's hard, then it's a job for the challengers. Comics and conversation, y'all.
From Challengers Comics and Conversation in Chicago, this is Contest of Challengers. And now, here are Patrick Brower and W. Dal Bush.
Well, this is already a fiasco.
Uh-oh.
And we haven't even started.
Oh, no.
I think we should just scrap the whole thing.
Thanks for listening.
Now, I'm going to need my cocktail to be very quiet because there's some carbonation involved in it, and it keeps making noise and causing distractions. And if it's a choice of not having it or just yelling at it to shut up during the episode, I will yell at it.
Sure. You'd rather have the carbonation than the conversation, am I right?
Oh, it's such a mess. Look at this fucking thing. It's going over here.
Uh-oh.
Or I can drop it on the ground. Talk, Del.
I don't really have anything yet because I don't know what we're going to be talking about.
Comical books.
Oh, comical books. I enjoy them. I read a couple today. What did I read? Superman
Up in the Sky.
Up in the Sky and Marvel Comics 1001.
I was going to guess those exact two books.
Superman Up in the Sky, the first chapter at least. Actually, both chapters in the issue I really, really enjoyed. And I think they're some of the best work Tom King has done with the Superman character.
But your all-time favorite, of course, would be that Action 1000 story?
Probably. And then Marvel Comics 1001 had a Power Pack page by Mark Sumerak and Guru Hiru, which in a year where I already got a great Guru Hiru Power Pack story, I was not expecting to see a in-continuity Guru Hiru Mark Sumerak Power Pack page. It was great.
And you already got new Power Pack by Wheezy and the other one, June Brigman.
June Brigman and Wheezy, and also Wheezy and Guru Hiru in that Power Pack special.
Well, you already mentioned Guru Hiru, so I wasn't going to bring him up again.
I did. Marvel Comics 1001, like Marvel Comics 1000, I don't know if it's worth the money. A lot of it depends on how many pages individually you enjoy, because there's not really much of a story. And there were some fun pages in this, some fun creators doing some fun little things. That said, I didn't have to pay for it, so I didn't have to do any sort of like value computation to figure out whether it was worth $5. But yeah, I thought it was good.
I feel like the theme of this episode is going to be, is this comic worth it?
Oh, okay.
And that'll most likely come later when we talk about a lot of the things that publishers are doing in the future, as announced at the New York Comic-Con.
Yes, which is going on right now as we're talking.
As we are talking, it is happening.
Yeah, I got a bunch of tabs on my phone.
All right, that's
for
good.
News items, because usually around this time of year, when we record a podcast during the New York Comic-Con, you will pose me the question of, what happened today because I was at work and I missed most of it? And also, you don't have access to your device, so you can't keep a string of things that you need to hit.
Yes, I was at work today, and I like to talk about sales for any individual day via a letter grade.
Okay.
And we have an internal number of what each day should do, what we want it to do.
Sure.
And that can get extrapolated out to your classic A, B, C, D, F grade. Spoiler alert, I want every day to be an A. Is that asking too much? I don't know. But I, inside, want every sales day to be an A. Today was a B+.
Okay.
Yesterday, Thursday, was an A+.
Wow.
So if you take the plus off of Thursday and add it to Friday, that's 2 A's.
Correct.
That works out.
Yeah.
Only it doesn't, because I worked today and we had 11 less buyers than Thursday did. But a B+ is a good grade.
Sure.
But it felt like a C- day all day.
Because of the amount of folks that were in?
Yeah.
Sure.
And it was an extremely productive day for challengers.
That's great.
Ashley hand cleaned everything in Sidekicks.
Oh my god, it all needs it.
Every surface, every shelf.
Uh-huh.
You should have seen the stack of dirty cloths she had at the end of it.
Yeah, the barbershop that just was put in next door to Sidekicks did a bunch of construction that ended up kicking up a ton of dust. There was a ton of construction done on Western Avenue that came in through, cracks in doors, that kind of thing, to leave just a weird layer of dust kind of all over the store.
And then I mopped the whole floor multiple times, because it needed multiple times.
Sure, thanks.
I brought a mop from home and moved everything out of the way, pulled up the rugs.
Nice.
And mopped, and then let it dry, and then mopped again, and you should have seen the buckets of water. Anyway, it looks real good in there. And it was easy to do because virtually nobody went in there today. So
Sure.
no issues with people being in the way.
Okay.
And then all of the September paperwork, well, everything I could do
Sure.
is taken care of.
Okay.
So that's another very productive thing that always takes a couple hours to do.
Sure.
So we got a lot of stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because we had the time and weren't ringing people up. And when somebody comes in a Wolverine hoodie
Uh-huh.
that has a full mask
Uh-huh.
and it's the brown suit
Ooh, good.
and it hooks over the hands and has the little metal shunts for the claws
Sure.
and they don't buy anything, that's discouraging. When all it is, hey, can we hang up this flyer?
What was the flyer for?
Doesn't matter.
No.
It's just, oh man, you got this Wolverine hoodie.
Sure.
Ugh.
That's something that's been a shift in culture in the last decade, where we've talked about this before, where it used to be like in the 90s and even early 2000s, if you saw someone wearing a comic book t-shirt and you were inside a comic store and you looked out a window and saw them, they were definitely coming inside. Like, you knew they were coming to buy comics.
Yeah.
They were wearing a comic book t-shirt. Now, I can look out on Western Avenue and all day see people wearing like Captain America t-shirts or just Marvel Comics t-shirts. And they're just going to work or on a run or going to get coffee.
But wearing the brown costume, that's
Sure.
a deeper cut.
Sure.
I mean, it's my favorite Wolverine costume. But
It's the one I grew up on.
Right.
I think,
So
I think it's the one he's got now again.
Oh, yeah, actually, I think you're right.
Yeah. Pepe Larraz knows what he's doing.
Yeah. It's just, oh, man. So today was a good day,
Sure.
a productive day. It's just one of those days where you feel it.
Yeah, I've been there.
This is what I would have expected out of September. But September was decent.
Sure.
Thank you, Hawks and Pox.
Yeah, I mean, not just Hawks and Pox, but definitely they helped, yeah.
Well, they definitely get people to keep coming. Somebody even commented today about how after next week, like, oh, they can stop coming in every week. And I said, no, you can't, because X-Men #1 is next week.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of promotion this week on Wednesday through Monday of saying, hey, X-Men's out the next week, and we're doing a midnight release. Like, there's a lot of trying to retain those Hawks and Pox customers.
Right. Oh, man. And we've started to have people drop X-Men because we automatically added it to everybody who got.
Yeah, not a lot. I mean, a handful, maybe.
Yeah.
Like less,
More than I would have expected.
Less than 6, I think, that I can think of.
Still.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, it is a number.
Hey, Dal.
Patrick.
I thought it's a good point to mention Local Comic Shop Day.
Okay, let's do that.
Local Comic Shop Day, as longtime listeners know, is a thing that was created to kind of be the comics industry's... Look, my pad is all wet from where my drink spilled.
Gross.
I know. I should just go. You can do the rest of this, right?
What's it, 51 minutes? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
See ya.
All right. Local Comic Shop Day was an event that was...
It was made to be the record store day for the comics industry. And what we've talked about in the
Which
past...
is funny because people who don't know comics will usually, like, think that Free Comic Book Day is, like, record store day. And yet people who don't know records will think, oh, record store day is like Free Comic Book Day. And we'll have to go, no. Those are two very different events built around two completely different models.
Yeah.
Like, there was someone who was in before local record store day... Or is it just Record Store Day?
Record Store Day.
Record Store Day. And we were talking about it at the counter, and they'd said, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that they're interested in. And they'll go check it out, like probably stop by later in the day. I'm like, that stuff is all going to be gone. And like, what stuff are you looking at getting? And they're rattling off the system. Like, that's going to be so expensive. Expensive? Yeah, I mean, all that stuff is like super limited edition and can be kind of expensive. They charging for these? Oh yeah, man, record store days to sell stuff.
Yeah.
It's not about giveaways.
First of all, they added local for local comic shop day to try to emphasize your local comic shop.
Mm-hmm.
Not online retailers, not the places where the discount clubs, the buyer clubs, things like that.
Sure, an actual brick and mortar comic shop that you would go to.
Comic shop day does sound better, but it's local comic shop day and it's never going to change.
No, it's pretty ingrained at this point. They got a logo and everything.
Local comic shop day is record store day. Free comic book day is free scoop day at Baskin Robbins.
Exactly.
And that is the model that each of those came from. Both of those things in the comics industry were taken from other industries.
Yeah, which it's fair.
Yeah, of course, it's fine. I'm in no way saying they shouldn't do it. A good idea is a good idea. I don't care where it comes from.
Yeah. So local comic shop day is overseen by Comics Pro, which is a comics professional retail organization. Is that it? Am I getting it right?
Yes.
It's a comics retailer advocacy group, and the idea behind it was to create something that publishers would create limited edition items that stores would get. And those stores would be able to sell those limited edition items, getting people to come into the stores an extra day maybe in November, outside of, your Black Fridays and holiday shopping, to help out in November a little bit, but also to, create some excitement for your local comic shop. We've talked about it over the years. I don't think participated in 2018, but we'd participated in years past.
Yeah, we did all of them except last year.
Yeah, and you can go back to those podcasts and probably hear us talk about it. The gist of it is that it never really worked for us because, frankly, we're not a limited edition store. A lot of the ways that local comic shop day works is creating, again, kind of limited edition items that stores will mark up or high-ticket, scarce items that stores can flip for a bunch of money. And that's completely not our model. The ones that we usually carry are going to be things where we can get enough of them to sell them at cover price. The stuff that is either heavily allocated or stuff we would have to mark up, we tend to skip out on. And then as a result, the stuff we get in is, in years past, variant covers or limited edition hardcovers, and that stuff just doesn't click with a lot of our customers. I'm really curious if that's going to change in 2019 because it seems like we've seen not just a shift in the industry, but even for a store like us that does not prioritize variant covers or limited edition items, we're seeing a lot more people wanting those things and coming to us for those things in a way where years ago, we would never have carried every single cover for Hawks and Pox. Like, maybe the first issue. Beyond that, we probably would have just gone to, like, one cover or something, or maybe the connecting covers. But we did, for the rack, every cover for every one of those books. That's crazy. So,
right.
Maybe this is the year that we'll get a better response to local comic shop day?
Well, the thing that pulled us back in, and another facet of these variants and things that they usually offer, is their variants or alternate covers of books that have long since come out. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Not long since. I mean, definitely stuff that's within the last season, maybe.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Not like stuff that's brand new. But this time, we're getting new stuff. Like, we'll be getting a Deceased hardcover with a Joker cover.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll have come out. Let's see. The next issue comes out, next month? The start of the month. So it won't have come out yet.
No, there's 2 in October. It wraps up in October.
Oh, are there? Okay.
Yeah.
But still, to get the hardcover out within a month from that.
You're right. Yeah. That's pretty fast for DC.
Yeah. And you saw that you have to re-FOC
yeah. Which was the weirdest thing, because when it was on Final Order cutoffs, there was already a quantity in there of 50.
Oh, what?
And I went, no.
That's not right.
2. Which is one of the things, that and then the new Image comic for the local comic shop day were such huge swings from where we started from that prompted a Diamond email to say, we need you to verify these numbers.
Yeah.
Because, like, the drop for Deceased was a drop of, like, over $2,000.
Wow.
So I had to go, no, we definitely didn't. I don't know how 50 got in there. And that may be the reason why they're reoffering it. Because I think something happened.
Yeah.
Because you would not have...
It was a Diamond error.
Yeah, you would not have ordered 50, and I definitely didn't touch it until FOCs. So it's like, how did that number get in there? And it probably was retailers going, I didn't do Final Order cutoffs this week. why do I have 50 copies on order or more?
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, but anyway. It's DC is doing a new Joker cover to the DC hardcover. They're doing Legion of Superheroes, I think Millennium, or Legion of Superheroes #1 variant.
I think it's #1, yeah.
Which is taking the Brian Hitch connecting covers for Legion of Superheroes Millennium 1 and 2 and then making them kind of one sideways image. Marvel's doing some variants for like New Mutants and something else, I can't remember what.
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember what else. I wasn't going to list everything.
Sure, I was just hitting some highlights.
That's fine. Go
from
ahead.
the major publishers. Boom is doing a couple different Mighty Morphin Power Rangers things again. A set of hardcovers as well as a blind box of a bunch of different variants from across the line. I can't remember what Dark Horse is doing. An alternate cover for the Umbrella Academy
Christmas special.
Bill Sienkiewicz Christmas special cover.
Yeah, for the Hazel and Chai Chai Save Christmas.
Yeah, but the big thing, and like Patrick was saying, the kind of one thing that got us back on board this year.
Well, if I may jump in.
Yeah, please.
When I was a board member for Comics Pro, back in 2017, in April of that year, I had an idea for what I thought would be a great local comic shop day book. And it was what I always want local comic shop day to be an original content that isn't anywhere else. So that'll definitely get people to come into a store, right? If it's a new thing.
Yeah.
So I emailed Sean Mack-eh-WITZ. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, from Skybound.
Mack-eh-WITZ?
There's no N though. Mack-eh-WITZ?
There's not an N, really?
Well, anyway, that guy.
Sean.
Sorry, Sean, if you're listening. Sorry that I got your name wrong. To say, hey, buddy, I don't know if you're the guy to talk to, but I think a really great idea for local comic shop day is a print version of the Brian K. Vaughan, Marcos Martin, Walking Dead Alien one-shot that they did for their digital platform.
Panel Syndicate.
And he emailed me back either the next day or the same day and said, I am the guy to talk to. That's a good idea. Let me kick it around and talk to Brian and Robert and see what they think. That was April of 2017.
The wheels turn slowly.
This year, Local Comic Shop Day 2019, that's the Skybound offering.
Yeah.
A print copy of this so good one-shot that I bought and read digitally years ago. You've never read it.
No, I haven't. I've been so bad about the Panel Syndicate stuff. That's why I'm glad when they print stuff, because it's like, oh, now I can read it.
It's so good. And it's a Brian K. Vaughan, Marcos Martin, Walking Dead issue.
Yeah, same team that did Barrier, that did Private Eye, that did the Doctor Strange story.
So we immediately said, yes, we're back on board for Local Comic Shop Day.
Yes.
We're going to order a ton of these.
Yeah, we're basically going to be giving it to every Walking Dead subscriber, and then we'll be sending out... No?
We're going to suggest they come in and pick it up.
Oh, really? Okay.
But you can't hold things for Local Comic Shop Day.
Okay.
There's rules.
And we are definitely going to be sending out an email to all of our Saga subscribers to say, hey, this project's coming out on Local Comic Shop Day.
You should definitely come in.
Definitely swing in.
Yeah, but people can't email us ahead of time and say, oh, I want that DC cover.
Yeah, I misspoke.
You can't do that.
Much like Local Comic Shop, much like Free Comic Shop Day.
Free Comic Book Day.
Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Shop Day, where you can come in and get a free comic shop.
I mean, I'm okay with that. We can only do one day.
Yeah.
First come, first serve, really.
Yeah, it's really only good for one person. I don't know that it makes us any money.
I don't know that it's good for them.
KO. So Free Comic Book Day, we have the same rule where the whole.
Well, that's our rule.
Well, I was going.
I'm sorry.
We have the same rule where, this is an event that's built to get people to come into stores, and if you just email us and say set this aside for me, kind of doesn't make sense for us to even order these books because it's not doing the main thing it's supposed to do, which is get people to come into stores. The way we pitch Free Comic Book Day to people when they want to subscribe to stuff or sign up for things or get us to hold things is, you get free comics just for coming in. Literally the only thing you have to do is come in. So if you're not even going to do that, there's no free comic books. Same thing with Local Comic Shop Day.
But that's part of the terms of service, Local Comic Shop Day.
Yeah,
we can't put it on hold. We can't pre-sell it on eBay.
Right.
We wouldn't anyway.
No, but stores do.
Plenty of stores do. And you can't even do it until X amount of time after Local Comic Shop Day has come and gone.
Yeah. So we'll be emailing.
However, should there be any left
leftover,
over, we'll be selling them.
Oh, we always
after
do.
The fact.
Yeah. The years past where we've done Local Comic Shop Day, there's always been a few things that we don't.
And I'll be honest, we ordered to have plenty left over.
Sure, but not even like the bulk copies we'll be getting of the Walking Dead special. There's been times where we'll get like 1 or 2 hardcovers, and they don't go super fast. I always think there's going to be a market for them. There's some good variant options, but it just, again, in years past, it just feels like the stuff that's being offered, the variant covers, the limited edition items, it's just not our clientele. But again, maybe that's changed. 2019, we'll find out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good stuff, but that Walking Dead book by Brian K. Vaughan and Marcus Martin is excellent, and it's worth owning. I'm very excited. It's going to be in print.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually found out, and this was announced back at San Diego, but I think it was just announced to retailers, so I don't know if I can say anything about it. But there are plans for Walking Dead stuff moving forward, but not for like 1 to 2 years.
Okay.
And it's not what you think.
I don't have any thoughts.
Okay. Well, it's not that. It's actually something.
Okay.
So if you thought it was nothing, it's not what you think.
I didn't have any thoughts, so I'm completely wrong.
I see. And, yes, Local Comic Shop Day, which is the weekend before Thanksgiving, which is... Oh, man. That may be...
Oh, no, is it?
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yes, we will.
Oh, golly.
All right, well, moving on.
The more the merrier.
Right?
I think what Patrick meant to say was that'll be the day of NXT's live show out in Rosemont.
Yes.
That's what you meant to say.
I believe that is
That's what you were referring to.
I believe that is the case.
Undoubtedly.
This is the first podcast of a new month, so thank you, patrons. Thank you for believing in this podcast and supporting it with your wallet. We desperately appreciate it, and anybody else can if you're listening and don't support on Patreon, you can at patreon.com/challengers. And I would just like to thank a variety of people.
In no particular order, except for the order that I'm reading them off.
Well, I'm going to jump around and see who I forget.
Oh, wow. Uh-oh.
Artie White, Michael Romanenko, who, Michael, we had talked to you earlier in the week about what we might be talking about on this week's episode, and we're not.
It's not this week.
So sorry. The Springham family, Jose Villagomez, Tom Nagovin, Mitchell Davies, who I got to talk to a bunch this week, Mike Lee, Ryan Alcock, Matt Armstrong, my good friend Bob Burns, my brother George, Morgan Kaiju Perry, who is at New York right now and I'm sure working her butt off, making retailers and fans happy.
I hope she gets to have some fun too.
Robert Lane, Jacob Sorelli, Christina McChrystal, who was in today, Brother Bear Mark Hammond from All Yeah Comics, Marcus Nasso, who is going to be signing for the last Voracious signing in October, very soon. Brand new patron, Ryan Hecht. Thanks, Ryan. And at a higher level than everybody else, and I mean that because she pledges at a level that she created, Bridget Neville.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. And as I look at the event schedule on the whiteboard, first of all, the whiteboard says episode 438, and this is 445.
Oops.
The events, the only thing that's accurate is the Michael Marici plot signing for next Saturday, October... Why is that a question mark? Come on.
Why, board?
Come on. 12th. 5 plus 7 is 12, right?
Is it
tomorrow's the 5th.
Sure.
It's a week
it's
from
a Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. October 12th. That's right.
Yeah. Is that a 12? I just can't read the one. No, it's a question mark. Good job. Look at how everything else is so nicely written, and it's all painfully out of date. Ridiculous. Comics are ridiculous, and let's talk about a whole bunch of new ones that are coming out starting in 2020, if such a thing as the year 2020 will even exist.
Yeah, hard to say for sure. Certainly it's beyond the scope of this podcast and the New York Comic Con. But just in case, let's go over some of the stuff that got announced this weekend at New York Comic Con.
New York Comic Con.
This is all in no particular order. I have a bunch of tabs that I'll be skipping around to. So this is the first one. DC Comics Black Label imprint. Patrick, you would agree that it's been a bit of a sales success for us?
Yes, it has.
They announced another DC Black Label project at the New York Comic Con. This one, Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Man, I was going to ask if I could guess who it stars, And my guesses were Joker and or Harley.
Well, it's coming out in February 2020, which is exactly, I believe, when the Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey movie is going to be coming out. So Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey is a new 4-issue limited series by Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti coming out.
This is not the Brian Azzarello Birds of Prey series?
Nope, a completely different one that's coming out in February 2020.
What?
And the cast is basically the cast of the movie.
Okay, look, I don't want to automatically think doom and gloom for this book because Black Label's done well for us. But you know what never sold for us?
The Amanda Conner, Jimmy Palmiotti Harley Quinn book.
That one.
Hey, that one. Yeah, I guess this will be the test for Black Label as to whether or not they can basically take what was an old project by creators that have a track record, slap a Black Label on the front, and have people go, yeah, I want that on my list.
Is it drawn by Amanda or just written by the two of them?
Drawn by Amanda, written by Amanda and Jimmy. The cast is the cast of the movie: Harley Quinn, Huntress, Black Canary, Renee Montoya, Cassandra Cain.
Okay. Who's Rosie Perez in the movie?
Renee Montoya. Anyway, they're still doing this book. It's a mature reader's title they specify in here because it is Black Label.
Okay.
So they are going to be a little bit more mature and probably languagey.
You mean puerile?
I guess we'll wait and see. They listed here as, well, CBR listed as the official sequel to Conner and Palmiotti's best-selling run on the Clown Princess of Crime's mainline solo series.
I'm sorry, has she ever been called that before?
It's all capital letters here, so I guess so.
No, I'm asking if you ever heard it before.
The Clown Princess of Crime?
Yeah.
Also, they have the possessive apostrophe after S, which means she's the Clown Princess of Crimes.
Oh,
which I've definitely never heard anyone call her.
Interesting. Hey, I have a quick Black Label question for
Go
you.
on.
Do you think the magazine format is the standard format moving forward for Black Label?
I don't know. It probably is, though. I don't know if it will be for a monthly thing like Birds of Prey. But for short projects, I mean, it's not already, because you already have Last Night on Earth, which is prestige format, but just regular comic size.
Okay, because my next question was, do you think a regular comic size Black Label book will not sell as good?
Well, you've got Curse of the White Knight, which is a regular size Black Label comic, and it seems to sell okay.
Yeah, but it sells so much less than the regular Black Knight or the White Knight did.
I don't know if it feels like it sells that much less. I mean, it's down for sure as a sequel series, but I don't feel like it's embarrassing itself.
Sure, I just thought it would do, equal.
Sure, these things almost never do. I mean, how well do volume 2s of a trade ever sell?
Yeah, that's true.
People, I don't know, out of sight, out of mind,
and also you ended the premise of that book.
Well, it ended on a kind of a cliffhanger. But the bigger problem is maybe that there's just kind of a glut of that sort of mature readers' Batman material between Harleen and the various Batman stuff and the Joker stuff that's coming out, that something like Curse of the White Knight that's already a sequel and isn't an oversized book can get kind of lost in the shuffle or feel less vital, I guess. Maybe.
And honestly, I don't think the oversized magazine-size format works for 20-page comic.
No, definitely not. But yeah, that's coming out February 2020. Marvel had a bunch of announcements. The first one is...
Wait. I'm sorry. You said in no order.
Yeah, no order. There's other DC ones.
Okay.
One of the first announcements was a new series of The End one-shots. People who have only been reading comics recently might not know that in the past, Marvel did a series of one-shots where it was basically the last stories out of continuity for their characters. So like Punisher The End, where Punisher dies in the end. Hulk The End, where Hulk dies in the end.
Not to be confused with Punisher kills the Marvel Universe, the Marvel Universe kills Punisher, stuff like that.
Correct. These are all newer stories with these characters and featuring characters that maybe didn't get The End before, some of them that did, and they'll just get different ones now. The first batch they've announced are Captain Marvel The End by Kelly Thompson and Georges Gianti. Doctor Strange The End by Leah Williams and Philippe Andrade.
Miles Morales The End by Saladin Ahmed and...
Damian Scott, who I'm psyched to see back on a superhero book. Captain America The End, this is the bonkers one. Written and drawn by Eric Larson.
Yeah.
Of all the characters you would expect Eric Larson to do the final story of, it would not be Captain America.
No.
So that's kind of awesome. Deadpool The End, Joe Kelly, Mike Hawthorne.
I mean, I'm interested to see a new Joe Kelly Deadpool story.
Yeah, right. And then, I don't care about Venom, but Venom The End, written by Adam Warren, drawn by someone named Chamba.
Yeah.
That's Adam Warren. I'm kind of interested in that. So yeah, it's a neat mix of people who worked on these books that maybe have a legacy with them. Joe Kelly, Kelly Thompson, Saladin Ahmed, but then also like, let's just draw some other people in, or let's put some people on some weird books, see what happens. I think it can be fun. Yeah, those are coming out. I don't know if they said exactly when. These are all solicits, so I gotta feel like these are all January.
I think they're all January. This is exactly the kind of thing that I don't want Marvel to keep doing. This is another Annihilation. This is
like
another
6 one-shots in a month.
Yeah, it's all these one-shots. Then isn't there a 4-issue The End series coming after that?
I don't know if I saw that one. So
okay, maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't. You already have Kelly Thompson doing the monthly Captain Marvel series, and they're doing the Dark Captain Marvel, which looks real interesting. Don't flood it. Like having
Marvel's always flooding things, though.
That's the problem.
That's their whole publishing philosophy.
Look at Absolute Carnage, Miles Morales, also written by Saladin Ahmed, who writes Miles Morales. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares.
Yeah, that's true.
And who's going to care about this alternate and future and time? I don't
know. It'll be interesting. Obviously, we'll most likely pull them for people who are already getting certain books. Miles Morales, Captain Marvel.
We didn't pull the Absolute Carnage Miles Morales for people who got Miles Morales.
Because it was a mini-series. A one-shot like this where it's directly coming out of that storyline instead of like, it's this character in this event. Like, that stuff we usually don't. Right. But if it's something where, like, if this was an annual, we would definitely pull it, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. If Saladin Ahmed's writing it, then we would pull it for people. So I think we will for those. Obviously, people can opt out. Sometimes they do. But yeah, in general, like, I would pull...
Like, I thought we should have pulled Immortal Hulk, Absolute Carnage, because it's Al Ewing and it's a one-shot. And it actually ties into the Hulk series with Thaddeus.
Okay.
Did you read it?
No.
Oh.
I'm not reading any of the Absolute Carnage stuff. I don't care about Carnage.
Well, it's about Thunderbolt Ross, because he...
Don't care.
Okay.
Don't care about symbiotes.
But he's dead.
Don't care.
But Captain America killed him.
Don't care.
It wasn't Captain America. It was the Foreigner, Dal. Come on. Don't believe the hype.
Oops.
What are you, just another Hydra stooge?
You say that, but I saw footage that Steve Rogers was always the head of Hydra. There was never a second Captain America. So who's the fool now? Okay? Believing things and seeing things. Checkmate. Speaking of comic books.
Speaking of Checkmate,
from
DC has announced...
DC announced a new Wonder Comics series, a 6-issue miniseries. It's going to be coming out starting in...
I didn't know that was 6 issues, because as soon as they announced it, I said, oh, no.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When they announced the creator, I'm like, oh, that's going to not be that creator very soon. But she specifically mentions it's a 6-issue series. February 2020 is when it's launching. It's Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld. It is written and drawn by Amy Reeder.
Our good friend Amy Reeder.
Yeah, it looks great. The pages they're showing off, there's a bunch of full-color pages, covers and stuff. They look gorgeous.
What are you on?
I'm on CBR.
At the store, CBR, when you clicked on any of the pages, it just opens up to like a sliver of the page.
Oh.
So I couldn't see it.
I mean...
I could see the cover. The cover looks like Amy's doing a slightly different style.
There's some stuff she's doing, I think, because of like the kind of fantasy motif stuff where it's a little bit flatter.
Okay.
But once you get to the interior pages, I mean, it's great. And I mean, it's all super lilac. It's real good.
I mean, we love her art. She was our first official Rogues Gallery art show artist.
That's true. Yeah. This looks completely in her wheelhouse. It's really great to see. I'm excited about it. Yeah, it's...
She said she was in the middle of a creator-owned project when given the chance to work with Brian Michael Bendis on this, that she couldn't say no.
Yeah, and it's fun when that kind of thing happens. You hear about that occasionally where someone's like, this is my next project, and someone's like, how about this thing? And they're like, well, Jesus Christ, I can't say no to that.
Right?
Yeah, this looks really good. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm liking the Amethyst character in the current Wonder Comics configuration, and Amy Reeder seems like the perfect character to tell more of that story.
Amy had said, because I was a big Amethyst fan when it first came out.
Sure.
Ernie Colon did some amazing work. I remember specifically being in the DC offices and showing off some Amethyst fan art that I had done to Sal Amendola.
You'll have to do some more Amethyst fan art now.
We'll see. And Amy had pointed out how a lot of the original series was her talking to the elders of Gemworld a whole lot. And she's like, that's not going to happen in this one.
I think this is coming out in January. I think. Because, again, it's a full solicitation copy. But I'm looking at this write-up, and I can't see them specifying what month it's coming out. So this might be February instead.
The next thing you're going to talk about?
Yeah, the next thing I'm going to talk about. Marvel Comics had a bunch of announcements today, so we're going to go through a few of those real quick. And the first one was, obviously, Jason Aaron is ending his Thor run with King Thor #4 that's shipping in December.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I may...
Please.
The last time Thor ended a major run, they'd let the character breathe for a couple years. They put him aside and waited until... James Straczynski and Olivier Coipel had a really great take. So they're going to do that, right? They're going to let Thor breathe for a while?
Incorrect. There will be a brand new Thor series. Thor #1 will be coming out early 2020 with the brand new creative team of writer Donny Cates and artist Nick Klein.
Nick Klein from the Scotty Young Deadpool run.
Correct.
Donny Cates from, I believe, Redneck.
Yeah, Redneck. And I was going to go with one of his...
Aftershock books, but you can't remember the name?
One of his Vault books was what I was going to go with. And I can see the font in my head, but I can't think of the title.
Good try.
Thanks. I appreciate that. My hard work. But anyway, yeah, Donny Cates, you had heard about this a couple days earlier.
Yeah.
And you had told me that Thor would be announced at New York Comic Con with a new creative team and a brand new writer. And my first guess was Donny Cates.
Yep.
Because, of course, it's Donny Cates. Mm-hmm. Donny Cates is ending his year-long run on Guardians of the Galaxy in December and suddenly finds himself a little free with his time, so him taking over Thor makes perfect sense.
Was it just a year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In fact, we'll be going next to the new creative team for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which has me excited.
And I think there or in the beat, they specified that it's ending at 12, which comes out in December, and issue 1 came out January 2019.
If I were looking outside of the box for Thor, I would have went Andrew McLean.
Okay, yeah, boy, I don't think it would go over super great. I liked Mike Del Mundo a lot in Thor, but boy, he was not a popular choice. I heard from more people who were dropping that book that they were dropping it because of the art than I have for probably any book we've ever subscribed people to at Challengers. Like, it's not just that they needed to drop it, they needed to let me know that they were dropping it because of the art.
Yeah, yep.
So, yeah, I like Mike Del Mundo, but, yeah, boy, not a popular artist on that book, at least with our readers and shoppers. I'll be interested to see where this goes. Donny Cates is a super hot writer at Marvel. It hasn't really translated to his creator-owned stuff, and it hasn't necessarily been a high level of interest across the board. Guardians of the Galaxy, after an initial burst, does not sell super great for us.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see where the Thor readers are for this book.
I was also wondering that as well, because Thor was a huge seller for us, and then a midline seller for us.
Yeah, I think for us, I usually peg it to once it wasn't Jane Foster, we saw a pretty sizable dip in interest. Some of that's Mike Del Mundo.
Right, so do you think that we can go up from there or not? Because it's not Jason Aaron anymore.
Yeah, I don't... We'll wait and see. I don't... Should we copy people over who are getting King Thor?
I don't think we should. Okay. I think we should just email them and say, hey, this is the new one.
It's going to start at a much lower number then.
I know.
Much lower.
But, I mean... Yeah, I wouldn't...
Okay.
I mean, most stores would.
Most stores would.
If you want to, go ahead. It just seems abrupt. Also, he just got Mjolnir back, and he just got a new costume, and now he's getting a new costume, and it looks like a cross between... by the way, was that an Olivier Coipel cover they showed?
Yep.
Because, again, it didn't open up. I got a little sliver.
Sure.
So I saw a thumbnail. So it looks like a cross between the original Olivier Coipel one, and Killraven, and...
Omega the Unknown.
I was going to say...
Starbrand?
Captain Universe.
Yeah, or Starboy from the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting-ish design. It's hard to tell from one cover image that's kind of, like, weirdly posed and kind of in shadow.
Well, in the article, it also has sketches.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not getting those. It's got these weird, like, spikes or something coming off of the side of the boot. And he's got, like, spikes on his arm.
I never noticed that because I couldn't see that cover.
His destroyer arm. Yeah, Donny Cates' stuff at Marvel, some of it's not been for me. The Venom stuff, again, I just have zero interest in. But Guardians of the Galaxy, I do enjoy. I've liked how that book's been played out. So yeah, I'll give this one a shot for sure. Thor isn't a character that
Oh my god, I just realized who it should be doing Thor.
Who's doing Thor?
Danny Warren Johnson.
Sure.
Donny Cates
I'd
has said
rather
that
see him doing his own thing, though.
he read an article... Oh, you mean like Wonder Woman?
If he's going to do a short run on Thor, yeah.
Okay.
But if you're saying like he should do the Thor monthly book, no, he should not.
Donny Cates said that he read an interview where Matt Fraction said, you should always hear Led Zeppelin for Thor. And Donny Cates says, no, you should hear Norwegian death metal.
Okay. Yeah.
Or at least in his run, you should hear that.
Sure. I'm pretty wait and see on this one for me as a reader. Thor isn't a character that I'm on forever. I usually kind of drop in and out depending on what the creative team is doing. I did all the Jason Aaron stuff, but yeah, this, I mean, I hope it works. I'm not seeing any one huge thing that makes me think this is some drastic reinvention of the character so much as it's just like, here's more Thor stories.
This I'm optimistic for, and it's very easy to announce a creative team where I just go, ugh, pass. This is not that.
That's true. Anyway, so we were just talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. So Guardians of the Galaxy is getting a brand new #1 in... Man, I wish they would put, like, the month higher up in these articles.
I assume all of these are January because...
Everything is just
that's
2020.
What they do. They
like,
just announce...
Just say January 2020,
yeah.
You stupid comic book resources. I know that you've got to leave room for all of your stupid ads and listicles, but maybe just one pertinent piece of information. Just one word. I just need that. Al Ewing and Juan Cabal are going to be relaunching Guardians of the Galaxy in 2020 at some point, somewhere between January and December, judging by this Comic Book Resources article. The cover looks great. I like Juan Cabal a lot.
I did not see a cover.
Here's the cover. It features what probably will be characters that are not the entire team, much like Guardians of the Galaxy #1 by Donny Cates. Did not feature the entire team of what he was doing on the first cover. It's these characters. It's got your Star-Lord, your Rocket Raccoon. I want to
point out that when they show the new Thor, they're doing a throwback Thor logo.
Mm-hmm.
They need to change the Guardians logo because it always just looks like too much of the same.
Sure. Cover of issue 1 is Peter Quill Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Nova.
His name is just Rocket.
Richard Rider Nova, Phyla-Vell, I can't remember what her name is now, Moondragon, and Marvel Boy.
Quasar.
Marvel Boy. It looks really good. Al Ewing is a pretty stellar creator at Marvel, no pun intended. I am very excited to see what he does with characters I don't think I've seen him really write before. Yeah, I think it looks really good. I think it's going to sell really well. No complaints.
Al Ewing is a guy who is always aware of what's happening elsewhere in the Marvel Universe and
because he's setting up most of it.
Yeah, right? And aware of what these characters have been through before. So he's going to pull out some really great Guardians of the Past type stories, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't the Pantheon of Greek gods back? And they gotta.
Yeah, that was something that he'd set up at the end of Avengers: No Road Home. That he said even back then, this was the stuff I was working on for this story. Like where Hercules is left, like that's a story he's going to tell.
Hercules will be a Guardian.
Maybe. So yeah, I think it looks great. I think it'll sell well.
I'm sad that Juan Cabal is leaving Friendly Neighborhood.
Friendly Neighborhood, I gotta think, is getting canceled because I think it was on the bubble. Like they solicited a finale variant that they then had to walk back. So I think if anything, the book probably just got like 6 months.
Yeah.
He's already kind of not doing upcoming storylines. Ken Lashley's
Ken Lashley
the artist.
is, yeah.
Which Ken Lashley done other stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a pretty standard Marvel thing of like, oh, you're an artist that we have a ton of confidence in. We're constantly launching new series. We are not going to waste you on some smaller book when we could put you on a much bigger launch. So people get promoted up at Marvel super fast. Other Marvel Comics announcements. This is something that had been teased, I think, a few days ago. Iron Man 2020. The Tony Stark Iron Man book is coming to an end at the end of 2019.
It's the natural progression of where the story was going.
Sure.
So it's not that much of a surprise. And it's the same writers?
Yeah, Dan Slott and Christos Gage are going to be writing Iron Man 2020 #1. Pete Woods is the new artist.
How do you feel about Pete Woods doing an Iron Man book?
I like Pete Woods a lot, so I'll definitely check back in this. I checked out of Tony Stark Iron Man. I think
like
around the time of War of the Realms.
Oh, I didn't read those.
And I never came back. It's just like,
I understand.
Meh. The first issue will feature a 5th color fluorescent ink treatment. I'm guessing it's the pink portions of this cover.
Oh, goodness.
So that should look fun and garish.
Initially, Iron Man 2020 was Tony Stark's cousin from an alternate reality.
Okay.
And he was a bad guy.
Back in the 1980s when they visited 2020?
Yes.
Now we're actually getting to 2020?
Uh-huh.
In this one...
And now it's his brother.
Yeah, his half-brother?
His, they say adoptive brother, but
Hard
I
to
thought
say.
Arno was their...
Technically, Tony Stark is the adopted one.
Yeah. Arno Stark is the actual son of Howard and Maria Stark.
Yes, the biological son.
Yeah.
This is a 6-issue series, which I was a little surprised by.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I was expecting this to be the new ongoing run, but...
Well, I expect that at the end of the 6 issues, it goes, there'll be a new Iron Man #1.
Probably. Iron Man 2021. Wait, what?
Who the? How the? When the? So these weekly?
Yeah. All 6 will be coming out the same day. Iron Man Tony Stark has not been doing great for us, so I'll be interested to see where this goes. If people will be more inclined to check it out. I don't know if they will. It seems like the sort of thing where if you're already an Iron Man fan, you're excited about this, but if you weren't, I don't know if this is the thing that gets you to check it back out. I mean, but it's a number 1. Who knows?
10 more than our normal numbers.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. I obviously, we haven't even started collecting orders for these yet, so who knows? Willing to be surprised.
Like we get orders.
We do. I'll do a couple smaller Marvel announcements real fast because I don't think we really have a lot to say about any of these 3 because I don't care about them. The conclusion of Absolute Carnage will see the launch of a series of one-shots, Patrick, centered on the Marvel Comics version of Arkham Asylum.
This is when I hear that my head explodes.
The Ravencroft Institute.
Oh my god.
The Ruins of Ravencroft one-shots begin with the 5-issue Ravencroft by writer Frank Thierry and an artist to be announced. That's how much confidence they have in this. They have not officially booked an artist for it. Thierry will also helm one-shots for Carnage, Sabretooth, and Dracula.
Ruins of Ravencroft, Carnage, Ruins of Ravencroft, Dracula, Ruins
Did they
of
say
Ravencroft.
Sabretooth?
Yes, they said Sabretooth. Yes, Dal, they said Sabretooth. Sabretooth is in that.
Did you say Sabretooth?
Uh-huh.
Because, boy, I read House of X #6 and Sabretooth? Really? Really? Sabretooth?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So for me as a reader, obviously these all sound terrible to me. I don't care about any of the Ravencroft stuff. I don't care about Absolute Carnage. I don't care about literally anything that has anything to do with these books. As a retailer, boy, I care even less. The aftermath stuff for these big events is frequently now completely ignored by readers. Some of it is that there's always a new event coming. By the time this Ravencroft stuff comes out, we're already doing Incoming and Annihilation Scourge and all this other stuff. Not even counting all the launches I just talked about. Probably the same month. The End and whatever. And stuff that maybe we don't even know about. And then on top of that, like, you just ask people to spend 4 months buying dozens of Absolute Carnage things, and then you're like, hey, you know what? Here's 8 more once the story's over. None of that feels like a good calculation to me. I don't think it's smart.
So we're just going to subscribe everybody who got Absolute Carnage over to this, right?
Yeah, and everyone who gets Amazing Spider-Man and House of X.
Okay.
Because it's got Sabretooth.
And Saga.
Yeah, and Strawberry Shortcake. I think there's a lot of overlap between all those audiences.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You meant Rainbow Bride.
No, we archived the Strawberry Shortcake readers, so we'll definitely... I mean, they're waiting for something to read now after so much nothing. This all sounds terrible to me, and I'd say I can't believe they're doing it, but I absolutely can believe Marvel is just going, here you go. Artist to be announced. All this is like, who's drawn it? No one knows. Great. You got to solicit and you have no artists for it.
I also feel like it'll be someone no one knows.
But someone that people do know and are so excited about is the character from the recent Kelly Thompson Captain Marvel comics, Star, who's getting a new limited series in January 2020. Kelly Thompson and
the same person,
the hottest young gun artist, and artist to be announced. Once again, Marvel so excited about this series that they can't even bother booking an artist. They've got a cover, and they've got a writer, and they've got a pitch, and they've got nothing else. So that's going to work out great. Kind of interested to see what the reader response to this is going to be. Star as a character is someone that people were definitely excited about how much her first appearance would be worth. Not much excited about the rest of it.
No, this is justified because she got her own series now.
She did. The breakout character gets her own death-defying series.
Did you hear that?
I think I did. What was the ghost? Are we haunted?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this Captain Marvel star thing, I don't know. Like, I feel bad because I like Kelly Thompson as a writer, and I think the idea of Star as a character is interesting. And certainly Captain Marvel doesn't have a very rich pantheon of characters from which to draw as adversaries. I just really, really hate how collector, speculator-driven Star felt as a character. It's nothing that Marvel was doing. This was not intentional on their behalf, but it tainted the character for me so fundamentally that I will always point to that as this industry is stupid.
Well, do you think that A, this was always planned, or B, this is in response to how people went crazy for that issue? And this is them just going, oh, we should have more of this.
You know, a little from column A, a little from column B. Star as a character is one they definitely teased out through a storyline and is someone that's built into the fabric of Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So spinning her off, it's no different than when they did those, like...
Minerva's attempt to make her own Captain Marvel.
Yeah. She's no different than, like, the Alpha character from those Dan Slott Spider-Man books where it's like, yeah, let's see if we can do something with this.
Whoa. I forgot all about that.
Do you know why I think about Alpha a lot?
Why?
Because we have so many back issues from the Alpha miniseries because no one cared. Not to say the same thing will happen to Star, but I guess we'll find out in January 2020 when issue 1 of the 5-issue Star miniseries comes out. Yeah, I don't mean to be cruel to Kelly Thompson or even Marvel Comics about the Star character. It's just, it's such a mascot of what's kind of wrong with the collector side of the industry that I kind of blame Star and I shouldn't.
Sure. Understood.
One other announcement from Marvel's panel this New York Comic Con early weekend.
Is it Galactic?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
We'll do that one next. We'll end on that one. This is part of our 3 short run announcements.
Go ahead.
An all-new prequel miniseries to the Earth X trilogy, Marvel's X, by the original creators Alex Ross, Jim Krueger, and someone Velibor Stanijevic, Welby, not Silly Bee, the Curse Words character.
Right.
This is Welby.
Nor Syzygy.
I don't know how... 6 issues. It is... what is this? It's a prequel.
They fooled me by making think it was another Kurt Busiek, Alex Ross collaboration with a title.
Much like the original Earth X stuff, I believe Alex Ross is doing the covers, but he is co-writing it with Jim Krueger, same as always.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a ton of people clamoring for more Earth X stuff. It would be great if Marvel could maybe get Earth X back into print before this happens.
That's what means this is going to happen.
Really hard to get new readers when the book's been basically out of print for 5 years.
Don't worry, it'll come out $150 omnibus.
And I say that I could be wrong. I think Earth X is currently out of print. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
No, I think Paradise X Volume 2 is available.
Is it? Okay, that's great. So the bigger announcement, at least from me, and one that I was totally expecting this weekend, Marvel Comics announced that the December shipping Star Wars 75 will be the final issue of the Star Wars comic book. It was kind of inevitable that they would relaunch with a new number 1. It was maybe even more inevitable that it would be literally the next month, probably within 3 weeks of the release of Star Wars 75.
If not the same week.
If not, the week after. I speculated internally in my brain that it would be moving the series from pre-Empire Strikes Back to post-Empire Strikes Back, and that's definitely the direction they're going in. I have not loved a lot of the recent Star Wars stuff. It's felt a little like they've overly mined a certain area of the mythology, so I'm glad to see them move on as a Star Wars fan. I'm even more excited as a comics fan to see that the creative team, at least to start with, is going to be the Swamp Thing creative team. Or at least some of the creators who worked on it. Charles Soule and Jesus Saez, who I really liked on that book. The pages they're showing off look great. The stuff that Charles Soule is saying sounds great. Obviously, because it's post-Empire Strikes Back, spoilers, Han Solo will not be in the book. Instead, Lando will be. And Charles Soule did a really great Lando miniseries.
Yeah, he did.
So that works out real great for me as a reader. Hopefully a new Star Wars number 1 will get people back on board. Our rec sales were next to nothing for the last year.
Remember, Star Wars number 1 sold over 1 million copies. I bet they can do it again.
I don't think that's the case.
No,
I remember
not.
For us, we were selling between 80 and 100 copies of Star Wars.
We were.
For the first 6 to 8 months. Now I think we sell less than 30.
23?
It's not a lot.
Yeah.
So the interest has really died off.
I do know it's going to have, well, I don't know. I'm expecting it's going to have like 30 covers.
Oh, probably, yeah. Yeah, it'll be coming out after Rise of the Skywalker, so it won't have a natural thing to tie into necessarily. Other than that movie will probably still be in theaters, I assume. The other book they announced alongside that, which I don't think I have here, is a new Darth Vader series.
Oh.
That'll be coming out that's set in the same time period. If I can get Comics Beat up.
Okay, they're just trying to recapture that same lightning.
Yeah, basically. I think it's coming out...
What was Dr. Aphra doing in that time period?
Well...
Do you think her book will jump to that too?
So, her book is ending. That's...
Well, sure, to restart in a new timeline.
Yeah, the idea frequently was that she was probably going to get murdered by Darth Vader before Empire Strikes Back happened. Boy, it's very difficult to navigate the Comics Beat, how they organize things. It's very difficult to find the thing you're looking for. So I'm going to go all the way back to my news feed.
Why don't you search Darth Vader NYCC?
I'm not even going to bother.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, I'll talk about Image, because I don't know if you saw this or not.
I probably didn't.
Image had a slideshow up that basically said, hey, what's coming for 2020?
Okay.
And it listed a billion creator names as to who will be working for Image in that year. And it's everybody you could possibly think of. But Sex Criminals is coming back.
Okay.
Starting at the end of January for the final 6 issues.
Okay, cool.
The first XXX cover is Jason Latour.
Okay.
And that'll close out the run.
Great.
But the 2020 also sees the return of Saga. They did not say when. Die.
Okay.
I
think the secret for Die is it will be included, stapled inside the next issue of Saga when it comes out. Surprise! It's a new issue of Die.
Right. And just like other books that were stopped for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Here's one that made me go, what? Nailbiter.
Okay. Weird.
Nailbiter's coming back.
I mean, Grudge is coming back as a movie, so who knows?
I'm sorry, what is?
The Grudge.
Oh, okay.
Greg Pak, by the way, is the writer of the Darth Vader series. It'll be launching in February.
Oh, hey, buddy. I know you just tanked our regular series, but it's not your fault. Here's a gift.
Oh, he didn't tank it.
I know.
He was like hospice care.
Yeah.
Like that thing was being put to rest, and he was the one that got to see it out the door.
Annie Wu's name was on this Image slide.
Maybe she'll finally get her Dead Guy Fight Club or whatever.
Right?
What was it called? Dead Guy something?
Yeah, something.
Dead Guy Fan Club?
Dead Boyfriend Fan Club?
I don't think you can call it Fight Club. I think that's...
Dead Boyfriend...
High Five Fight Club learned that the hard way. Yeah,
that's true.
You definitely can't call it Fight Club anywhere in there.
I think she called it Dead Heavy Vinyl?
Yeah.
Rabbit?
Yeah, Dead Heavy Vinyl Rabbit.
Dead Heavy Vinyl Rabbit. It blows my mind that we're selling more of Dead Eyes than we did of Dead Rabbit.
I mean, not by a lot.
Blows my mind.
Not by a lot. By like 1 or 2 copies.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear any of that Image stuff. That's very exciting. Hopefully Image can find its way back to some sort of sales dominance for Challengers in 2020 because, boy, a lot of the recent stuff just has
The only name that I didn't see on that list was Christopher Durham.
I didn't think he'd be doing more Die. Doesn't
really?
he have an Arkham Asylum graphic novel to do?
Does he?
With Morrison?
Who? Robbie Morrison?
I hope not. That would be disappointing. Bill Morrison, the Simpsons artist.
Oh, well, he's got time in his hands. Yeah, I don't know. They just listed, hey, they said these titles are coming back, and they listed, here's the names of people.
Sure.
And it was, the usual suspects of, like, Matt Fraction, Donny Cates, Robert Kirkman.
Hickman?
Jonathan Hickman, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice if, like, Frontier ever came out. I don't imagine
expect that. No,
that's going to be anytime in the next 3 years.
Like, it'll definitely be Black Monday Murders.
Okay. Yeah. And people keep asking about the third volume of that.
Somebody asked about it today.
Yeah.
Like, only 2 volumes and you're current. There's no single issues.
No one, what? Like, that and Saga are the most requested. Hey, is the next book of that out? And we have to go. They haven't even started serializing it. It's going to be like, if it comes out in the next catalog, it's like 7 months from now.
So, Saga, I'm going to go on record as saying not coming out in January. Because they would have told us.
They don't have to.
Yes, they do.
They do?
It's the rule.
Does
They told us ahead of time when it was taking a break.
Does BKV...
It didn't blindside us. We did not find out about it by reading the book.
Does BKV have a panel this weekend, maybe, where he could announce it? Or Fiona have a panel where she could announce it?
I think they're waiting for the next D23 conference.
Okay.
Something like that, maybe. I don't know. DC says, again, I read this somewhere else recently, too, that they're desperately trying to... Not desperately, I added that word.
Oops.
They're trying to work on their timeline and figure out when everything happened.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up. That was something that Dan DiDio had at a panel today for fans.
Let's just scrap this part then.
But it was a picture taken like from the audience of a projection, and you could not read any of it.
Astro?
Astro would probably have been more coherent.
You know, on my walk home tonight...
How's the weather out there, Pete?
I happened to... Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
it's
fall weather,
cool.
man.
Yeah.
It's the thing.
Although it was warmer on the way home than it was on the way there. A bus stop ad has an Alzheimer's ad.
Okay.
And it says, it's time to talk about Alzheimer's. And I thought, I've been doing that for 5 years.
You were ahead of your time.
So I tried to do the thing where I stood in front of it and took a selfie. But it's a lit bus sign, so all it is just white.
Uh-huh.
But if I just turn around and take a picture of it, comes out just fine.
I think it's because of which camera you're using.
I'm sure it is, but it's just very frustrating because now I can't make the post I wanted to.
Sorry, dude.
Stupid. And it's by the Alzheimer's Association, so
That's nice.
I mean I can't mock it, but
you can, and you did.
I just meant I've been talking about it. Where have you been, Alzheimer's Association?
Yeah.
Not curing Alzheimer's, apparently.
Oof.
That is mean.
Hard work.
Very mean. That's okay. You made a horrible joke about my mom.
I definitely did not, Wednesday. And you 100% cannot prove that.
Horrible.
Cannot prove it at all.
Is there more to become to have been come at yestermorrow?
Tenses are difficult when it comes to conventions. There's definitely going to be more panels on Saturday. Probably an X-Men panel that we have not experienced yet.
I don't know what that is.
What an X-Men is, or what a panel is.
What
the X-Men panel would be.
I grew up with paneling in our den. It was called, and so there were panels of paneling. I understand panels.
Sure.
I don't know what X-Men are. What is a mutant?
They're your new gods.
Like Highfather and Mr. Miracle?
Absolutely. They all join the X-Men now.
Excellent.
Powers of 10 number 6 spoilers,
they
folks.
are mutants.
Sorry. Whoops.
They are mutants.
Anyway, I expect them to announce a few new series, probably a Wolverine book. It seems like it's time. I can't imagine what else is in the hopper for
X-Men. But I couldn't have imagined the End or Ravencroft bullshit, so I'm not even going to try to...
Ravencroft bullshit is coming out late 2020. It'll be something they'll announce probably in San Diego.
There are some creators who I wonder how they're still working and why people still hire them. And I'm not going to name any names.
However,
but if you think about what comic I literally just talked about, yeah.
One of the things I like about the industry of comics, and I only mean this slightly facetiously, is that it's so big of an industry now, especially the work for hire stuff, that as long as you're basically competent and can hit your deadlines,
they'll need you.
You can work forever on anything. Like, as long as you can just turn in a script on any concept, anything that you're given, you can have work, as much of it as you want. Like, that's the Scott Lobdell thing from back in the 90s, was he was just a guy who was hanging out in, the Marvel lobby all the time until one day they're like, can you dialogue this issue of X-Men tonight? And he's like, yep. And he did, and that dude never stopped working.
Like Todd McFarlane, inking Spawn 300 in a moving car.
Sure.
That's okay. Eric Larson had done that long before him. But then there's people that shouldn't get to work in comics anymore.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're comfortable with me talking about this, but there is a book in the current previews from Image Comics.
Oh, is it the current previews or the next previews?
It is the current previews.
Is it? Okay.
It is their, when you get to the image section, it's like a 2-page spread of the art, but then you turn it and it's a different book, and then a few pages later, it's that book.
Okay.
I don't want to carry that book.
Okay. We don't have to then.
Are you? But I mean, would you have come to that same conclusion or not?
I don't know. I have very complicated feelings on it. In general, I would prefer not to because it just kind of makes me feel gross. But then
it does make me feel gross.
Feeling gross about it makes me kind of interrogate my feeling gross about it, and then I start to get in this weird, like, locked room, and I can't escape it. So I'd rather someone else who feels more strongly about it and can be more vocal about it tell me what they want to do.
If you stop and think about the world, all you do is feel gross.
Uh-huh. Generally.
But I think this is a step to feeling a little less gross.
Okay. Do you not want to carry it for subscribers?
No, of course. We will always carry books for subscribers.
Okay.
We're not in a position to say, hey, you shouldn't get this book.
Okay. You don't want to carry rack copies, though?
I do not want to carry rack copies.
Okay. Done. Do you want to talk about who it is and why? Or do you not want to?
I mean, should we?
You brought it up.
I did bring it up. I did bring it up. I don't have the solicitation copy in front of me.
If you don't want to go into more details, that's fine.
Well, I cannot specifically. I would want to read it exactly.
Save it for next week then.
So yeah, all right.
Cliffhanger.
Sure. We'll see.
Maybe that'll be all we're talking about next week. Who knows?
Whee! Thanks for listening.
Keep reading comics.
Hey, look, here's a little bonus postscript to this week's episode. But this part is just me, alone, in a closed, darkened Challenger's. Gray day for the most part. It's raining right now. You'll probably hear the sounds of cars going by with the sound escalated by the rain and water on the streets. But anyway, I wanted to jump in and just say that today is the kind of day that really illustrates why we do this in the first place. And I know sometimes Dal can sound a little mercenary, as in, well, we do it to make money. Yes, but we wouldn't be doing this to make money if we didn't love comics so much. But part of it is watching other people love comics. And today we were lucky enough to have Coco Fox in the store. And she is from the Center for Cartoon Studies in Vermont. And they have a free comic book out called This Is What Democracy Looks Like. And it's a comic book that teaches kids what democracy and government is about. And it's one of these books that teaches things in a non-preachy way or a scholarly way. It's a fun way to learn. But more than that, she was interacting with people, mainly young people, who were here, and she was so good with all the kids and the adults, and so good at getting people excited and just being excited herself. And then the chance I had to talk to her, which wasn't a lot because I was solo today, and for this store, there are, aside from Dal and I, there are 5 people who are regularly scheduled to work at different points during the month. And on top of those 5 people, we have 2 backup people who fill in when needed. So today was a day where no one was available, and it was just me. Fine, I can work a day by myself. It's not a big deal. Dal does it all the time. But it's a Saturday, and Saturday is when we have the second most people in through the store. And it's not as if they come in evenly and spaced out. It's all or nothing. As I'm sure it is for your job, as I'm sure it is for how you work. There's a million things to do, and then there's nothing. So it was a lot of phone calls and running around the store, and I literally didn't have a chance to even talk to Coco for the first hour she was here. And I didn't get to say, like, hey, we set the tables up this way for this reason. Do what you want. Do you want a bottle of water? But it's organizations like the Center for Cartoon Studies that really get us excited for the future of comics. And Coco was not quite aware of Dogman until some kids were talking about it. So she dove right in and she started looking at some of the books and looking at some of Dav Pilkey's How to Draw and How to Make Comics books. And she got so excited from that because getting kids to draw is amazing. And she told me a statistic that came from Linda Berry that every child is an artist until they're 8. And that's when it sharply drops off. And I think that at 8 years old is the point where people stop saying, oh, this is great to anything you do. And they start saying, well, you can do better or whatever. And of course, other things get in the way, sure. But I think it's that fearlessness of youth that lets kids just pick up a pencil and start drawing. And that's what's going to give us the Tilly Walden of tomorrow. And I referenced Tilly Walden a few times today, and then I found out that Tilly Walden is one of Coco's best friends. So, small world and all that. But aside from that, we had a ton of people through the doors. This was definitely an A++ day, and I almost feel bad for there were so many people I couldn't give full attention to because there was either a line or a phone call or something else I had to run and do. That just means that many people were in today who were excited and who wanted to be part of comics. So for all the times we're negative, and really, negativity is better for storytelling. Nobody talks about all the good things because sometimes it's boring to hear. And I legitimately had someone in today. Also, I kept pounding on the chair to emphasize what I was saying. I don't know if that came through. But I legitimately had someone in today who said they no longer listen to the podcast because they're regular customers here, but listening to those two angry people on the podcast made him stop and say, "Where are those two polite guys from the store? We're still in the store. It's just that the podcast isn't, and it's done after the fact. And if you want the behind the scenes, that's what the podcast is for. If you don't have to get it. And we'll be positive and hopefully energetic in the store. In the last 2 days, we've gotten a whole bunch of new 5-star Google reviews. I'm just going to point out that I worked the last 2 days, so, there's that. But hey, I actually worked yesterday. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's just the overall experience. Reviews are great. People coming back again and again are even better. And today was the best.
This has been Contest of Challengers. Thanks for listening. Keep reading comics. Challengers is located at 1845 Northwestern Avenue in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago. 773-278-0155. Keep up to date with new releases and events at challengerscomics.com. Like Challengers Comics on Facebook, follow @Challengers on Twitter, and help fund this podcast at patreon.com/challengers.